What is going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics. In this video, we are going to check out the comics and art and everything that are coming up for sale in this next big Heritage Signature auction that's taking place from June 26th to June 29th. Now, if you watched one of these before, usually I pick out a few books I'm going to talk about, that kind of thing. I thought I would take a little different approach this time and actually just walk through all of the listings the way I would when I'm going through and kind of checking out an auction and figuring out which books are interesting to me. So I'll start talking about that as we're going through this because there's a lot of books. It might be a little bit longer video, but hey, get a chance to check out all this really cool stuff that's coming up for sale and kind of get an idea what really catches my attention when I'm looking through one of these auctions. So we're gonna go check all these out, and the listings are all in order of when they're actually going to sell. The auction is broken up into 4 days, and so you've got the big comic books that sell on the first day. That'll be that Thursday. Then the big original art on the second day. Then the a little bit more affordable comics on the third day. That'll be on the Saturday, and then the a little bit more affordable original art on the fourth day. That'll be that Sunday. It's not always true. Sometimes there's some really expensive books or original art that work their way into those third and fourth days, but generally the biggest stuff sells on those first 2 days. Now, for me, when I'm going through these auctions, what I do has changed a lot over time. So it used to be that I was pricing out 150, 200, 300 comics or whatever per auction, and I just don't tend to do that anymore. I've seen so many books now. I'm really looking for very specific things that catch my eye, and I just mark them, as tracking that item. And then it's just something that I can go in and I can price if I want to, or it just reminds me to go and check that item out when it's coming up for sale, or it just gives me a reminder of what it sold for after the fact. So we're just going to start going through this. You kind of see what type of stuff catches my attention. I'll talk about those. We might price some of these out as well. First thing here, you can see we've got this all story number 94. This is that pulp. That's the first appearance of Tarzan. Super expensive items, already at 28,000. All these numbers that you're going to see here are plus 20%. The numbers that show here don't show the buyer's premium. The buyer's premium does go into the final number that is reported on GPA, on Go Collect, all that type of stuff. So I always tell people, don't even pay attention to what the actual bid is. What really matters is the bid plus the buyer's premium. So in this case, if we go and look at this item, you can see here it's actually at 33,600 right now for this 1.5 first appearance of Tarzan. But all right, so this is one I'm gonna track. So I'm gonna track that one. I really do like this first appearance of Conan. I think it's a pretty awesome cover. I'd probably be interested in trying to get one of these at some point, but not right now. I am going to track this Action Comics number 1. You see, I did put in a bid early on, or not. Well, so it's Action Comics number 1, but it's just the cover. And so this cover, I'm thinking, is probably going to sell somewhere around 300,000. It's already close to 200,000. We know that the cover for Detective Comics 27 sold for it was like 226 or somewhere around there, $1,000 back on Comic Link maybe a year or so ago. So I was thinking this might go for 300 because this is actually a really nice looking cover too. This is one of the books that's from that Under the Stairs collection I talked about in that prior video, Action 15. So I want to track that just because of that. And then we've got this Adventure Comics 46, also from that Under the Stairs collection, which is already over what my estimated price was. I thought this would go for around 15,000, but I said I wouldn't be surprised if it went for more because the highest grade that's ever sold is like a 4 or 4.5. And this one is already at 16,200. So some big money there for that one. I'm definitely going to watch this Amazing Fantasy 15. And you'll see, I'm going to be watching a lot more of the books that are earlier on because these are going to be the biggest stuff, tends to be right up at the front. But this is a white page copy. They don't come up for sale all that often in high grade, especially. And so we'll see what this goes for. I know what this book has sold for a couple times already. And so I'll be interested, but those were all private sales. So I'd be curious to see what this one ultimately sells for on the public market. This one I did throw a bid on. I love this. This is the modern Grail. This is Amazing Spider-Man 667, the Delato cover. It's actually signed to 9.8. Is a really expensive book. This one I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up over 20,000 still. I really wouldn't be surprised if it hits those type of numbers still. It is sitting pretty low right now, so we'll see. Then we've got a Batman #1. You always got it. There's 4 or 5 Batman #1s in this auction, but this is the nicest one. This is a 3.5, already over 100,000. You can see it's at 108,000 already. I'll track that one. I'm definitely going to track both Captain America #1s. We got a 5.5 and a 4.5. See, I put in kind of a joke bit here. I expect both of these are going to go much higher than this. I think I always tell people that the bids that they're at pre-live bid, because these auctions will all, or these big books here will all sell live. And even if it's not an actual live sale with a live auctioneer, they'll have a countdown timer for the later sessions. So sessions 3 and 4 will have a countdown timer. Sessions 1 and 2 will have a live auctioneer. They tend to go up many times when you hit that actual live sale. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get bid up ahead of time, but a lot of times you'll see books jump up 2, 3, 4 times what their bid was before the live actually started. So I'm going to watch those. I'm not really interested in either of these books. I'm not going to watch those two. I'm definitely going to watch this 9.2 FF #1 White Pages. This is also the White Mountain Pedigree, so I'm going to follow that one. Got a 9.2 FF5 First Doctor Doom. I'll definitely follow this book too, and a 9.2 Hulk 1. This will be really interesting to see what this sells for. Let's look this one up, because we already had a 9.2 Hulk #1 sell pretty recently, and it had a big number. It was this one right here. And I think this was on Heritage. I don't remember. Let's check. I didn't think this was Heritage. And it was. Okay, 825. 825 is just kind of a strange number for Heritage. Usually they get these different multiples. But 825, I thought it was Heritage, but just for some reason that number didn't make me think it was. But 825,000. I remember when this one sold. It surprised me on how high it went. So it will be interesting to see if this one can match that. It's not White Pages. This one is off white to white. This one was White Pages. On super high-end books like that, that is going to matter. And you can tell, like, this one just doesn't look quite as bright. I don't know if that's really the page quality, but I feel like this one doesn't look quite as bright. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes for less, but I still definitely want to track that book. Got a 9.6 First Loki. Definitely will track that one. And 9.4 Sergeant Fury. I mean, that's a cool book. It's crazy high grade, but I'm just not all that interested in that book. We've got a Wiz Comics #2, technically #1, first appearance of Captain Marvel. I'll definitely watch that at a 7.0. And a 9.2 X-Men 1. I mean, check this out. You got a 9.2 X-Men 1, 9.2 Hulk 1, 9.2 Fantastic Four, 9.2 or #1, 9.2 FF5. If you got the money, if you've just got like stacks and stacks of cash, ready to spend, you could put together a pretty impressive big Silver Age key collection in 9.2. I will absolutely watch this one. This is All American #16, first appearance of the Green Lantern, Alan Scott as Green Lantern. And I'll definitely watch that. Even Restored, that is a big book. I'm not too interested in these in the early Green Lantern issues. I do like that first appearance though. So I'm going to pass all those. So this is kind of, you're getting my, the process for me of what things I'm really interested in watching. And I'm not all that interested in Golden Age Green Lantern. Then we've got this one I'm definitely watching specifically because it is the Cosmic Airplane Pedigree. I sold my Cosmic Airplane Pedigree book relatively recently, and so I am definitely on the lookout to get another one, because it's just my favorite named pedigree. I really love that name of that pedigree. Now I'll definitely watch this one. This is that first appearance in comics. I'll say first appearance with a story in comics of Sandman, Adventure Comics #40. So I'll definitely check that one out. I'll watch that. This is just super cool cover. Adventure 42. I'll watch that one too. And keep moving on here. We got All-Star #8, first appearance of Wonder Woman. I'll be watching that one. I don't care for these early all winners covers, so I'm just like, I mean, some people like them. I'm not big into them, so I'm just not one I'm going to watch. And I'm going to keep moving on here. Now I've got to watch all the Batman ones. I mean, look, this is wild. 3 Batman ones back to back to back. I have to think that's going to negatively impact these two. Probably. I mean, maybe even this one. I mean, just having that many sell back to back, it's just, I feel like it's really going to eat into the the demand on that day. I'm surprised that the sellers didn't want to maybe have one of their books sell on the Saturday, just to get it separated away. But hey, it's their choice as the seller. I'm going to keep going here. Not my, again, like for some reason, like this book has never really appealed to me once I saw it in person. Batman 11. I know a lot of people love this Joker cover, but I don't know, not for me. So I'm going to keep moving on here. I'm going to watch this one just because it's a 9-0. This is a really cool book, Batman 25. It's the first team up, supervillain team up, where you've got the Penguin and the Joker. And a 9-0 is just an incredible grade for that. So I'll watch that one. Not really interested in either of those. I am going to watch this. Cap 2, CBCS, maybe that's a chance for a deal, being a Cap 2. And an 8-5 Cap 5. I have a Cap 5 myself. I'm definitely going to watch that one. I like watching books that I own just to see how they do. I feel like that's super low right now. I would I'll be bidding on that right now. I'm going to watch this one just because I love that cover. Chamber of Chills 19. 8-5 is an insane grade. I also like to watch pedigrees. I just tend to really like to watch pedigrees. So I'm going to watch this one, like especially the Gaines file copies. Those have been super popular lately. And so even though this isn't like my favorite cover or anything, Crime Suspense Stories #1, Gaines file copy 9.8. I'm going to watch that one. Early Tech 7.5 in a blue label. I'm going to watch that one. And I am absolutely watching a Tech 28 because I own a Tech 28 myself. And I want to see how that does. So definitely one that I'll be watching. Second appearance of Batman. He's not on the cover, but you've got his name on the cover there. You can see. But yeah, definitely a cool book. I will watch pretty much any early techs like this. I'm going to watch Tech 29. It is probably my second favorite pre-Robin tech cover. My favorite is 31. This is probably my second. 27 is probably like third or fourth. I'm not a huge fan of the cover for 27. I mean, I don't know if that's sacrilege or what, but I'm going to watch this one. We've got the first appearance of Clayface and first Joker cover, Detective Comics #40. Even though it's supposed to be Clayface on the cover, but yeah. Then we've got a Tech 43. I own this book as well, so I'm going to track that one. And I really like this Joker cover. I don't know. I feel like I've lost a little interest in it over time, but this is pretty cool. It's a double cover, so I'm going to track that one too. Now let's check this one out because I'm assuming that the interior cover is the nicer one because just from what I can tell. Yeah, so first cover is a 5.5, second cover is 7.5. If you're not familiar with double covers, the highest grade cover is the grade that it gets. Whether there's 1, 2, or 10 covers, the highest grade cover is the grade that it gets. So that one gets 7.5, even though the exterior cover is a 5.5. I imagine I'm just shooting from the hip here. I feel like that's going to be over 20 grand. The thing that might hurt it a little bit is because the lower grade cover is on the outside, but let's price that one out. So we do Detective number 69. And so we got Detective Comics 1942. Awesome Joker cover, 7.5. Yeah, so last sale, 23,500. I don't know how much it's really going to hurt it having that lower grade cover on the front, but I expect somewhere around 20. I think it'll probably get somewhere around $20,000. So let's keep moving. All right, we've got First Appearance of Red Hood, another book that I own. I always like to watch those. So we got an 8.0 and a 5.5. Both really nice looking copies. This 5.5 is nice. It has a little damage on the right edge. That 8.0 is incredible, though. All right, keep moving. I'm not a fan of Fantastic Comics books. Flash 2's, I mean, it's okay. I think it's first cover of Hawkman, but not one I'm overly interested in. Some people really like this one. This is a Schomburg cover, an early Robot cover, but not my favorite. So I'm going to keep moving on here. This one, same thing. It's just kind of like the books that have the pulp style covers. I'm not huge into the pulp art, that style. So it's a cool book, Marvel Mystery Comics #2, but I'm not all that interested in watching that one. Keep moving on here. All right, we've got Pickle Hitler here. You can see, you've got the green Hitler on the cover there. I will definitely watch this. A 7.5 is a pretty incredible grade for this book. That is going to likely hit some pretty big numbers. Let's check that one out. So we've got Marvel Mystery number, I think it's 46, right? Yeah, 46. So 1943 and a 7.5. 5. Yeah. Last sale, 45,600, 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes a little lower. Um, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere more around 40. That's probably about where I would price it. That's one of those things that'll be really interesting to see how it does. That's how we can kind of gauge some of these prices that we saw a couple of years ago, even in the golden age. I don't expect to see the big drops like we see with, or what like we saw with silver and bronze and that, where books are getting cut in half and all that. Like this isn't going to be a $20,000 book, but I could see it drop into 40 or 38, somewhere in that range. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, right now it's in well below that. It's around like 14. But we'll see. We'll see what that goes for. I mean, it's got 6 days left. Keep moving on here. Some early, more fun. I'll watch. I mean, this is a big first appearance of the Spectre, and this is first appearance of Dr. Fate. So I'll watch those as well. I'm not huge into the Mystery Men comics or National Comics. I will definitely watch oh yeah, that's right. I think there's like a full run of Phantom Lady in this auction. So we've got 13. And this is the Crippen, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's actually 2 17s in this auction. 19, 20. Oh, there's no 21 here, but 22 and 23 as a CBCS. So that, I mean, again, an opportunity that if somebody wanted to pick up almost the full run of Phantom Lady, it looks like it's missing 21. Maybe there's a 21 later in this auction. I have to check. But that would be, one of your chances to do that. Planet Comics are really cool. I do like Planet Comics, but I'm kind of picky on which ones I would want to go after. I do really like these earlier ones that are referred to as the Rivet copies. And what I mean here is, you can see if we look at this book here, issue number 21, you can see all these rivets that are in the name Planet Comics. Whereas if you go to this one here, number 49, Mile High, I might have to watch that. 49, it does not have the rivets. I got to watch the Mile High copies. These are the Edgar Church copies. They tend to go for just huge premiums. People love to own Mile High or Edgar Church pedigrees. So I'm going to track those. Keep moving on here. This is actually the first appearance of Wonder Woman's lasso. So I think that's a pretty cool key. I've always liked watching that one. I feel like I'd like to own that book at some point. So we'll watch that one there. Keep moving on here. We've got a couple Superman number 1s. Got to watch Superman number 1. I love the cover for Superman number 3, even though the kid looks kind of funny, I think, on that cover, but I like the cover for Superman 3. I like the look of the train. That's why I like Action Comics 13 so much. I love the look of the train on that cover. Let's keep moving on here. I'm kind of picky with the Superman books that I want to watch. Actually, this one's just a cover. Interesting. Okay, just a cover, but still already at 31 grand. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. All right. I will. I feel like I've seen this one sell before. I'm pretty sure I've bid on this book before. I don't know. I'm almost certain I bid on a Slightly Brittle USA 7. I am going to absolutely track that one, because this is one of my favorite Captain America covers. And I mean, the Slightly Brittle, some people don't want to touch the lower page quality, but I personally don't care. So I would absolutely bid on that. So I'm going to watch that one. All right, keep moving on here. We got some Wonder Woman, Wonder World comics, World's Finest. World's Finest, I'm pretty picky. There's a lot of covers I just don't care for. I mean, a lot of them are kind of this stuff. It's the campy, jokey covers, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not the stuff that I typically want to buy. If you were really into fishing, maybe that's the fishing cover for you. But we're gonna keep moving here. Yes, I mean, it's just mostly, these are all super high grades. They're going to go for a lot of money. You can see they're pretty low right now, but they'll get some pretty serious bids. But I'm going to keep moving on here. We've got a Crime Suspense Stories 22. I will absolutely follow that one. And I'm always following the Frank Frazetta Famous Funnies books. So Famous Funnies 210. Actually, I like a lot of his covers here. This is one of my favorites. I love the underwater aspect of this one. I'm surprised it doesn't get more attention, because underwater covers usually get a lot of attention. Like Seven Seas number 4. The Matt Baker Underwater is one of his biggest books. And I feel like this one doesn't seem to quite get the attention that it deserves. It's a really well done, in my opinion, underwater cover. So absolutely going to follow that one. Got another Marvel Mystery 46. Got two of them in this auction. And here's that second Phantom Lady 17. And here we've got another Phantom Lady 18. And we've got a Startling 49. So this, said before, I actually have a 4.5 in my PC right now. But I will still be watching this book and potentially bidding on this book again. I did put in a bid, but I've already been outbid. This is my favorite cover of all time. I love Futurama. I love that Bender, we got confirmation that Bender was based on this comic, that Matt Groening used this comic as reference for his creation of Bender. And that was from an interview that was on Comic Collector Geek's channel. And so I absolutely love that. I love the art of this. I love this cover, and it is my favorite cover of all time. And I will forever be probably trying to upgrade my copy of that book. I've bid on a number of books that are higher grade than mine. I just haven't won one yet. I will watch this one. Not my favorite cover. This is a Lee Elias. It is a very popular pre-code horror cover. It is definitely gruesome. I've owned it before, but not one of my favorites. Similar with this one. There's something about that ant, that ant with the guy's face just creeps me out. I don't know if I've ever owned this one. I don't know if I've owned this one or not. Maybe I have, but it is not my favorite cover. It's super gross. I do like this one though. I do like that one. The kind of like the monkey brain type cover. And so I will absolutely watch that. This has got to be a Gaines file. Yep. So Gaines file copy. I'll watch that one. And I'm always going to watch Amazing Fantasy 15. 7.5 ASM 1. I'll watch that one. Now we've got two 8.5 Spider-Man number 3s. First Doc Ock. Let's see. Is one of them maybe a... Nope. There aren't Pence copies or anything. Just two of the same ones. I'm probably going to scroll by a lot of the Silver Age right now. Yeah, I mean, just for me, and this is where you're kind of getting an idea what I'm watching and tracking. I'm still nervous generally about Silver and Bronze for the most part. I mean, a lot of them have corrected back down to where I'm probably pretty comfortable with them, but I still want to wait and see. So for me personally, I'm probably not tracking those. I am going to watch this one. This is one of the books I always wanted as a kid. Now I do feel like that the pink and the Amazing Spider-Man there looks a little washed out. And so I don't know if it's just this print, this copy has like maybe a lighter print or something, but that feels a little washed out to me. So that's something that might hold me back on wanting to bid on that one. I mean, let's go check out like another copy. Amazing Spider-Man number 6. This is the first appearance of the Lizard. If you're not aware. But when I was a kid, I had a copy, and I still own it, of the second appearance of the Lizard. And so I always wanted a first appearance, and I've owned it once or twice, but I've never had a really high grade copy. Now, let's check out this one here. Yeah, see, like this is what I'm used to seeing. Like it's one of the things that actually always draws my attention to this book. It's like this super pink Amazing Spider-Man title, and it looks so unique. And this one just, like I said, it feels washed out. Like if I want a copy of this book, I want one that has like a color strike or, deep colors like this. This is the type that I'd be looking for. This is a stunning copy. But yeah, so now you see what I'm talking about. Like that's the type of stuff that I'm looking for with these. Let's keep going here. I mean, if you're into Amazing Spider-Man, I mean, there's some big books in here. I'll always watch the 9/8 of like First Punisher. I like to track and see where these are going because they kind of drifted below 20 grand, and I'd like to see where those are heading. I will always watch this book just because like I said, I love this cover, and a 9.6 is going to obviously be a more affordable opportunity to get one. And let's keep going here. 9.8 Avengers 2. That's pretty crazy. I just got to watch that because it's just 9.8 is crazy. And a 9.6 Avengers 4. I will watch that too. Let me keep moving on here. I always watch Cerebus, the Aardvark number 1, especially high grade copies. I have one that I need to get graded. That is a pretty nice copy. I think it could be like a 7.5. But yeah, a 9.2 is tough for this book. And so I'll be interested to see what that goes for. 9.2 Daredevil 1. Yeah, I don't need to watch that. I will watch these Fantastic Four number 1s and this Fantastic Four number 5, though, especially because we've got the Fantastic Four movie coming out. We've got all the hype around Doom. I like to kind of see what those books are doing. We've got a 9.8 FF48. I like watching the super high grade big keys like that. I'll absolutely watch that one. And 9.4, I'll watch it. First Black Panther, I'll watch that. I mean, you don't see books like this book up in the 9s all that often, especially not a 9.4. I'm actually curious when the last time one sold. So we've got Fantastic Four number 52. First appearance of Black Panther. And let's see here. I don't know if I said that. Did I say something wrong? I feel like I said Black Cat. I don't know. But yeah, first appearance of Black Panther. We had a 9.4 go for 14,400. See, it's been pretty level for a while. It's actually like fallen below this trend, but it's not below this like prior trend. So I mean, because like you got all the hype with the movies, and then we lost Chadwick Boseman, and so I mean that's something that's definitely hurt the value of this book, and hurt the value of that character in general for comics. And so I mean, but still, like you don't see 9.4s hardly ever. I mean, look, a 9.6 hasn't sold since 2023, and a 9.8 hasn't sold since 2016. You just do not see that book very often up in these types of grades, but you do see a lot of red there. I mean, you see a lot of red, down arrows for that book. So let's keep moving here. I don't need to watch the early Flash stuff. I will watch this Gobbledygook number 2. If you're not aware, the back cover of 2 and 1 are the first times you had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on a cover of something like this. Now they actually both came out at the same time. At least my understanding is they both came out at the same time, but 1 still sells for a big premium over 2. People just want the number 1. They want Gobbledygook number 1. But they're both expensive, but 1 is definitely the bigger of the 2. All right, let's keep moving here. We've got a 9.8. I like watching this one because this book, there's that one sale where it broke 100,000 for a 9.8. And then we've had like 2 or 3 more come up since then, and every one seems to sell for less. I think the last one might have actually gone up a little bit, but it seems like it's leveling out around maybe 40 to 50,000. But we'll see what this one goes for. And this is actually a signed copy by Stan Lee, so that might help it some. I'll watch a 7.5 Hulk 1. I mean, that's just a cool book. You don't see these they're just never this nice. And this is a nice looking copy. That 7.5 looks pretty clean. I don't need to watch the 6.5. 9.2 Hulk 2. I'll watch that. I don't need to watch the 180. I will watch the 181 and a 9.8 though. This book has been kind of all over the place lately. So I'll definitely watch that. I don't know if I need to watch either of these. I'm okay not watching those. I'll watch this just because I want to. I don't think I'd seen A Journey into Mystery 83 yet, and I like watching the big Silver Age keys, so I'll watch that one. We are already watching a higher grade, Jim 85. Got first Jane Foster, second Thor, but man, a 9.2. I'll watch that, and we got a 9.9. See, I'm always gonna watch the 9.9s. I'm always gonna watch those. So Secret Wars 8 and a 9.9. I'm gonna watch that one. This is, I think, the first Sergeant Rock. Our Army at War 83. I never remember the issue. I always remember the cover. So let's see if I got that right here. So we'll check out first true Sergeant Rock. Yeah, the one before that, it had like a slightly different name. But yeah, this cover, some of these books, like I don't necessarily remember the issue, but I remember the cover, and it's a very recognizable cover, and tends to go for quite a bit. People do seem to like that character. I don't feel like I need to watch that one though. I love these early Flash books. So the Silver Age ones. That's the thing. Like I don't really care for the Golden Age ones, but I love the Silver Age ones. This I can't tell. This feels washed out a bit. I can't tell though. I feel like this is normally a deeper purple. So I don't really need to watch that one. But I like these two. This is also the with the first appearance of Captain Cold. I like Showcase 8. I'm not a huge fan of Showcase 4. This is the cover, but I like Showcase 8, and I like this one. I think this one's fun. Showcase 13. Now we've got a 9.6 Silver Surfer 1 and a 9.8 Silver Surfer 3. Off-White to White Pages doesn't have that CVA sticker, so it's probably going to sell for way, way less because we had that 9.8 white pages with the CVA sticker on Comic Link sell for like, it was like 90,000 or something. And which was just bananas. And I think this one is going to go for way, way less. And I know people will be like, oh, it doesn't have the sticker. It's not white pages. And it's like, okay, I get it. But there's going to be a huge gap. There's going to be a huge gap, I bet, in the price between this one and that other one. I'm always going to watch a high grade copy of this. Silver Surfer 4, one of my favorite covers of all time. This has got to be a 35-cent. Yep. Yeah. So whenever I see a Star Wars #1 in one of these auctions, especially if it's not a 9.8, I instantly know that it's a 35-cent variant, because that means this is going to be a super expensive book. You can see it's already at about $24,000. So $19,500 plus the premium. I watch that book every time. I love seeing what that book goes for. I like the rarity that comes with that. I'm a type of person that is willing to pay for that rarity. I know some people do not care, just like they do not care about newsstands versus direct. I like that additional rarity that goes with the unique printing of that book. I mean, this is cool in a 9.4. I don't need to watch that one though. There's another big Silver Age key for Ant-Man. I'll always pick that one up, or not pick it up, but I'll always watch that one. And a 9.8 of another one of my favorite covers of the Silver Age. Just awesome Silver Surfer cover. I think it's a Marie Severin cover, isn't it? Let me check. I think it is. Let's see. Yeah. Marie Severin and Frank Giacoia cover. Yeah. There's something about, like, I love like the little detail in his eyes, like little ridges in his eyes. I love that cover. I've said before, like, high grade, high dollar books like 9.8s make me nervous because I'm always worried that like something's going to shift inside the case and damage the book. And then it's like a 9.4 or 9.2 and you lose just thousands and thousands of dollars in value. So I'm very hesitant to ever buy a book like that, but I love watching, see what they go for. This Calvin and Hobbes book has sold quite a few times. I see it. I feel like I see it in almost every big heritage auction lately. This like teaching with Calvin and Hobbes, this non-numbered, but we'll see what that goes for. I don't need to watch that one, but I will tend to usually watch a first print of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so 9.2, I'm going to watch that one. And we've got another first print signed. And I will watch that one too. All right, let's keep moving on here. All right. I told you this is going to be a longer video. I mean, if you want to hang out, you can while you're, I don't know, folding laundry or whatever, you can listen to me just go through all these, these different books. All right. So now we've got a couple of pulps here. This is probably my favorite pulp cover. I'm going to watch it. I will own one at some point, but they keep, like, the 7.0s keep going for like 20 grand or 30 grand. So I can't pay that. But yeah, I'll watch that. Now, if you aren't interested in the original art, you can just skip past the original art part of this video, because I'll get back to comics in a little bit when I get to what will be day 3 of the comics. Right now we're hitting the original art. I'll actually go through that pretty quick, and you'll see kind of how I like to go through original art. And for me, it's got to catch my eye. And if it doesn't, I'm not watching it. And so that's why a lot of times, like, if it's not like either a big splash page or a cover or something, I'm probably not interested in watching it. I'm just generally not going to, even though I know these are big pages, like Steve Ditko, Amazing Spider-Man #6, page 21, like early page by Ditko, is going to go for huge money, but it just, all the panels and stuff just doesn't really interest me. And so I'm not going to watch it. And that's why I'm going to watch this one, because this Spider-Man versus Wolverine cover is awesome. And so I will watch that one, and I'd love to see what it goes for. It's not going to be for me. Like, I don't have that. It's already at 31,000 plus another 6, like 37,000. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty cool cover, but I don't need to watch that one. But see, I'm going to keep scrolling on here. There's definitely gonna be probably some Frank Frazetta slight nudity in some of these. Be a little careful. I'm definitely going to watch this. I mean, I feel like this could be like a $200,000 cover. Like original art like this. It's just such an iconic cover. The Joker Tech 880, it's sitting at 96,000 right now, but I feel like that could be a $200,000 cover. But I'm going to keep going here. Just keep moving on. I mean, Jim Lee stuff, super cool. I'll watch that one. I like the Jim Lee stuff. And so I really like his art. I like his style. That's why I bought that Jim Lee page. And so I'll tend to watch those. This is pretty cool just because it's early Thanos cover and Jim Starlin. So I'll watch that. I mean, already at 90,000. I'm not watching it because I'm bidding on it. I'll also watch this Calvin and Hobbes. You just don't see early or really any Calvin and Hobbes original stuff. So that's pretty cool to see. So I'll watch that one. And I'll probably miss something here and there because I got it. I'm gonna try to go through these a little bit quicker. Like this thing's crazy. Look how big that is. But yeah, we'll keep moving on. There's a bunch of cool covers, but just, I mean, stuff that's, I don't know, not really for me that I'm all that interested in. And so keep moving. And let me know in the comments. What stuff are you planning on, or are you planning on bidding anything? And what things do you like to watch that are in these auctions? Here we've got some Frank Frazetta original art. I mean, for me, at this point, it really is a lot of it's just like what catches my attention. What are things I haven't seen before? I mean, with the original art, it really is just the immediate eye appeal. You know, like for me, it's that immediate eye appeal. And if it doesn't have that, then I'm probably just not going to watch it. And that's just, I mean, everybody gets their own, gets to decide what they want to bid on, what they want to watch. I mean, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Jim Lee, Dark Side. Yeah, I'll watch that one. That's pretty cool too. I'll watch that. Not that I'm going to be bidding on them necessarily, but I mean, I think those are just some really cool pieces. So let's keep moving on here. Got McFarlane. It's pretty sweet. McFarlane stuff is getting so expensive. I'd love to own something cool like that with McFarlane, but it's like, I feel like everything is like 20, 30 grand now. But yeah, let's keep moving on here. Peach Momoko. Some pretty cool covers there. I'll watch all those. I like that one. That one's pretty sweet. So, but yeah, I'll watch those. We got some Invincible original art. If you're into, if you're into Invincible, it's pretty cool. Doom cover there. Let's keep moving on. Nothing else grabbing my. I really like Alex Ross's work. I tend to watch those just because, similar, like I said, like it just grabs my attention. It's something about his style just grabs my attention. So I tend to watch a lot of the Alex Ross. Like this one's awesome. Like that's pretty cool. I'll watch that one. That one not as much. That one I don't really. That one's pretty cool. I'm not feeling this one as much. So keep moving on here. And now we've got, so I do like to watch some of the Charles Schultz Peanuts stuff, especially the really early ones. Like if they've got any that slip into the 50s. But I don't, so I'm not going to watch all of them. I'm especially not going to watch the later stuff, but I will often look for certain types of content, like Snoopy stuff like that is definitely going to catch my attention a little more than maybe something else. Or like this one, like one of the baseball scenes, like that's the type of thing that's going to catch my attention that I want to watch. Like this is just, I feel like this is just like an iconic Snoopy, as the World War I flying ace, along with Woodstock. Like those are the types of ones that yeah, just will catch my attention. I do. Sinkovitz, he's got some really cool stuff. This one isn't speaking to me, but I do often like to watch his work. He's got some good stuff, even more recently. Like I feel like some of his stuff in the kind of the teens, like 20 teens in that area, have been really, really cool. He's had some really cool stuff that's been in some of these recent auctions. All right, keep moving on here. Witch's Tales. That's a cool one. I'll watch that. And then, it's like a recreation, not really something I want to watch. Let's keep moving on here. A lot of adult verification. so if you're, if that's what you're interested in, you want to get some adult verified, original art, then, there are plenty of options, it seems, in this auction. All right. So we are through the original art and now we are back to comics again. I'm going to go by the Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns, like I said earlier, just aren't really interesting to me. Now you got to remember now we are in the day 3. So this is where you do still have some very expensive comics. You're typically going to average still probably $5,000, somewhere in that range across this set of comics, per book or per lot. But you're not necessarily going to have the multi-100,000 type dollar books that are in that first day. But let's keep moving on here. Got an Action Comics 2. I will watch an Action Comics 2. Also a 10. I mean, that's pretty cool. Or super early Superman cover. And I mean, obviously this is second appearance of Superman. And then we've got Action 23. I mean, it's the first Lex Luthor, which is pretty cool. It's a restored book, but I feel like this one comes up for sale a little more regularly. We'll keep moving on here. Nothing yet really grabbing my attention on here. Got an LB Cole 9.0. I've got a 6.0. I feel like you don't see this this very often. So we've got that first appearance of Crypto, Adventure Comics 210. This book is always like a 3. And so, I mean, a 6.0 is kind of cool. I'll watch that just because I'm interested to see what that ends up going for. Let's actually price that one out. Let's see what Adventure 210. Adventure 210, first appearance of Crypto in a 6.0, 1955. So very late golden age. I mean, yeah, look at this, like a 6.0, just near the top. I mean, last sale, 5,600 in October 2024, 7.5, 14,000. So, I mean, and then look at this one. I mean, a 5.5 went for 7,600. So I mean, I wouldn't, that's a tough book maybe to price. I mean, look at, there's a lot of price compression right in here. I feel like this one was on the high side. Probably will go around 6,000 would be my guess. Where's it sitting now? Yeah, right now it's sitting at like 3,700. I'd guess around 6,000. All Flash similarly is not one of my favorites. This, I can tell this feels like it's got some kind of like color fade or just like not the best color strike on it. It's usually a little more like full red, but this is, I think, the first appearance of the Blonde Phantom, All Select number 11. If I was going to kind of like double check myself, there's some covers that look very similar to other covers, but yeah, first appearance of Blonde Phantom. So I'll watch that one. That's one that I'll watch. It's an interesting book. And then we'll keep moving on here. I love this cover. It's not credited as here as a Matt Baker cover, but it is typically credited as a Matt Baker cover. It's one of those where it's tough. It's a tough call between Matt Baker and Jack Kamen. I know like some people get real angry. Like I had one guy in the comment section in one of my videos that was just real angry that I called Phantom Lady 17 a Baker cover. And he's like, oh, don't know what you're talking about. And that it's a Jack Kamen cover. And I guess he's like, you have a bad eye and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, a lot of people, most people think it's Baker. And unless you can time travel back and ask Matt Baker yourself or Jack Kamen, I'm going to go with what the general consensus is. So I don't know. Some people just like to, like I said, some people, I made a post about that on Instagram recently. Some people just, they like to be grumpy and try to make everybody else as angry at the world as they are. So now we've got Astonishing number 8. I love this cover. This is one of the best underwater covers I think that is out there. I absolutely love this cover. So Astonishing number 8. I really love the colors on this Authentic Police Cases 8. So that's why I tend to watch this one. And an 8.0 is a pretty insane grade. Keep moving on here. We've got a Batman 2. I actually really don't care for the cover of Batman number 2. It is still Batman 2. I mean, it's still a big deal. I don't like that cover. I love the cover for Batman 3. So I always will watch that one. Keep moving on here. I love the cover for Batman 20. Just such an incredible Batmobile cover. This is one where you can really just tell, like, this one pops. And the funny thing is, like, that's the white page copy. I feel like the 7.0 looks like it pops more. Now the 7.0 has a little bit of kind of like some dust shadows on the right hand side, but I feel like, man, like when you just look at those two next to each other, I feel like the 7.0 pops a little more. But even though this one has the white pages. But all right, we'll keep moving. And I always just like this book. I'm always going to track it. I think it reminds me of the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons. So I'm going to keep moving here. See if anything else grabs my attention. I mean, that's a cool cover. I mean, it's an LB Cole, but and a 7.0 is tough, but not really one I'm interested in watching. Here's that an Alex Schomburg robot cover. Again, I don't know. I mean, I know it's a really popular cover, and I don't feel like I need to watch that one. Let's keep moving here. I'll watch some of these early caps. I mean, we've got a Captain America number 14. I used to own a copy of this one, and I love Alex the Comic Hoarder just picked up a copy of this Captain America Comics number 74. I think it's the best Red Skull cover that's out there. The color strike looks odd on this one. There's something that's strange here. Let's look at that. Let's look at Captain America 74. So Captain America number 74, because I have owned a copy of that. I had a 3.5. It was my PC book for a good while, and I ended up selling it as part of kind of like a trade. But let's look at this. Let's just look at another copy. So we've got a 4.5 here, 12,000. So yeah, so it's the jacket, or like his like cloak. So you can see here, it's like kind of, I don't know if that's a color thing, if it's like something that got faded. It's just, let's see. It might be some fading because like Cap is a little less blue, but it's possible it's just like a coloring thing. Like the reds still look really good. That's what's kind of throwing me off with it, is the reds look really good, but the cloak on Red Skull doesn't look, the colors don't look as good. So, I mean, that could hurt the value of that. I have no idea. I know a lot of people love Captain Flight 11. I'm not, it's not my favorite. But yeah, this is the grail for a lot of people, or one of the grails for LB Cole. But it's like, for me, it's Blue Bolt 105 and Mask number 1. Those are my LB Cole books. But yeah, I'll still watch it. All right, let's keep going here. This is pretty cool. This is actually the first appearance of Kitten, I believe. So for Catman and Kitten, I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance of Kitten. Let's check. Origin and first appearance of Kitten. Yeah, it's just something. This has this like unique blue color. That's how I always remember. So it's just really weird, the little tricks that your mind uses to remember certain facts. And for me, it's like that little bit of blue that's around the outside. It's not something I see normally, and so I just always remember this book because of that. And here's another one of these. Actually, I'm going to watch that one too. Chamber of Chills 19. Got a lot of wear along the top edge, but in general looks pretty nice. The interesting thing with this copy is that this actually, you can actually see the end of her cigarette. Most copies, you do not see that. Most copies, it's kind of like cut off there, but it almost feels like to me that this book was never laid out correctly for the size of the cut of the book. And what I mean is, you either get the full Chamber of Chills up here on the left-hand side in this top left corner, or you get the end of the cigarette. Because you can see here, you actually get the end of the cigarette here, but it's cut off over here. It's actually wrapping around the side of the book a little bit. And which I think is unfortunate, because it's almost like you can't get a perfect wrap really of this book. You've got to decide which one you want. And typically, I mean, I almost never see the end of the cigarette. That is pretty uncommon with that book. From just the ones that I've watched, I just almost never see that end of that cigarette there. Let's keep going here. We've got Crimes by Women and a pedigree copy, the Crowley pedigree. I'll watch that one. That one it's kind of a fun cover. Then here we've got some more Gaines file copies. And like I said, I like to watch the Gaines file copies. Even if it's not a cover that's maybe one of my favorites, I'll still watch it. We have the Eldon pedigree. If you're not familiar with the Eldon pedigree, it's just the guy wrote his name on the cover, Eldon. And so right there, so that is that's the Eldon pedigree there. I think those are kind of fun. I like those types of pedigrees where you have some very identifiable mark there. So I'll watch that one, even though I'm not super interested in that book, but I'll watch that one. This Crown Comics. I feel like there was one that sold relatively, maybe within the last year or two, that went like super high. Let's see if it got, I don't know if it was a Comic Link sale or a Crown Comics. What was that? Number 7? Yeah, Crown Comics number 7. Let's see. I feel like there was a really high sale. Maybe it was it. I don't know if it was the Promise Collection one. I don't know. I mean, none of these are really jumping out as like crazy high sales. I mean, a Cosmic Airplane, that's pretty big. 6,600 for it. But I mean, but those pedigrees, they can command big premiums just being the pedigree. I mean, if you don't care about pedigrees, that's fine. You don't have to pay the premium for it. But if you do care about pedigrees, and there's certain ones that command bigger premiums than others, Cosmic Airplane, like I said, is my favorite named pedigree. My favorite pedigree is Okajima, but my favorite named pedigree, I think the coolest name is Cosmic Airplane. But yeah, it's not a cheap book. You can see here. Let's close that out. But let's see, this one's a 9.2. I mean, we had the Promise Collection and a 9.4 go for 9,000. I mean, probably going to be like a $6,000 to $7,000 book. That would be my approximate guess. It's currently sitting at $105. Feel like it's going to get some more bids. I feel like it's going to get a few more bids, unless there's something massively wrong with the book. Let's see. And there's like bindery stuff, but yeah, no, I don't. There's nothing that tells me it's like, yeah, I don't know why that one hasn't gotten any bids yet. I have no idea. But it's not going to sell for $100. I'll tell you that. All right, keep going here. Daring Love #1. What is this? This is like the first. It's the first artwork for. Oh, I can't remember. We'll check. Ditko, that's right. Steve Ditko's first published artwork. So Daring Love #1. This is one that it's the cover. It always reminds me that it's like I knew it was a first artwork, but I couldn't remember whose artwork it was. But yeah, Daring Love #1. If you're interested in the first Steve Ditko artwork, that is this book. And it's an expensive book. It goes for quite a bit. I always like to watch that one, see what it goes for. Got a super violent cover there. We've got a Daring Comics early. I think this is Alex Schomburg cover. A Daring Mystery #2. Early Detective Comics. That one I'm going to watch. I like the early Detective Comics like that. And this is a cool Baker cover. I do not see that cover very often. Diary Secrets #28, and it's a white pages. I will absolutely watch that. Typically going to watch the Baker stuff. I really like the Baker covers. None of these are really speaking to me. Got a Famous Funnies, 213, one of the top Frazetta covers. A lot of people would say this is the best cover from that run. I personally like 14 a little more, but this is an incredible cover, and the colors on this one look really good. I've got a 9.0 of number 215, another underwater cover. I actually like 210 more than 215, but I think 215 usually sells for more. I think 215 is much harder to get in higher grade. For whatever reason, 210 has some pretty high grade copies. Let's keep moving on here. This cover is crazy. I have owned a copy of this book before. A 9.2 white pages too. I'm always going to watch that. But yeah, it's just a wild cover. It's got so much going on. You've got the swastika stuff. You've got these skulls with jewels in them. You've got the Good Girl Art type cover. I think this is a Joe Doolin cover. I've talked about him before. I feel like he's like Joe Doolin cover. He's like an unsung hero of the golden age for covers. He must have been just being worked to the bone. That guy made so many covers, and some really, really great ones, and well-known covers too. But he just does not get the same credit as like for the Good Girl Art type covers as Baker and Kamen. But he has some really incredible covers that are out there. Got Fighting Yank. We got some early Flash. We've got an early Foxhole #3. I don't see that often, so I'm going to watch that one just because I do not see these early. You see Foxhole #1 somewhat regularly. I do not see the other issues, the later issues, nearly as often. These are Jack Kirby cover and art, the early ones, and so that's what really is, because they're early work, relatively early work for him, and so these ones get a lot of attention. I'm not a huge fan of the Frankenstein one cover. Let's keep moving on here. At Human Torch, we got Hangman, Jumbo Comics #1. They're too big to be graded, so they're never slabbed. Let's keep moving on here. We got a Leading Comics #1. You don't come across issue #1 too often. Now here we've got a Bound Mad 1 through 23. That's interesting. I'll just watch that to see what it goes for. Interesting to see what that ends up selling for. Got a Manhunt #14. This book is another book that is almost always in really low grade. A 5.0 is actually pretty high grade for this book. It's usually got, like, I had a copy and the spine was almost completely split. That's usually what I see with this book. So that's kind of cool. I'll watch that one. Marvel Mystery 6. It's a Schomburg cover, but it's just not the style of his that I really like. It's that pulpy style. And so I'm not all that interested in it. Got a Marvel Mystery #9 though. That's a big book, and I mean, this is going to go for way, way more than $925. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, this is just the classic Submariner versus Human Torch cover. But yeah, that's going to go for a lot. Let's see here. We keep moving on. Mickey Mouse Magazine #1. That's pretty cool. Colors seem off. I feel like something seems off with the colors on that one. But I'm not going to go and check that one. But I'll watch that book. Got some early Miss Furies. Got a Mr. Mystery #11, 6.5. That is an impressive grade. Is this the Bobby Blue? I think it is. We got some Bobby Blue collection books popping back up for sale. Yep, these were the books that were from the collection that Flip Mode Comics bought. They sold them on Comic Connect. And it looks like we've got somebody that is selling the 6.5. So that's, I mean, it's got to be. So Mr. Mystery #11. And appreciate you sticking with me. If you're still here listening and watching me go through all these, all these books. So we got Mr. Mystery #11, a 6.5. I would guess that this was the Bobby Blue copy. Let's see. Yep, Comic Connect, Bobby Blue, same copy, sold for $8,510. And what do I think? I wouldn't be surprised if it went for more. I honestly would not be surprised. I mean, this might hurt it some, this kind of like discoloration there, but that is a good looking copy. Let's see what the back cover looks like. Yeah, some tanning and stuff maybe, but off-white pages. I mean, this is tough in this grade. Like, let's look at the census in this book. So it's a 6.5. There's 2 and a 7, 2 and an 8, 2 and an 8.5, 1 and a 9, 1 and a 9.2. I mean, you can see most of them are kind of down in here in the 2.5 to 5.0 range. I wouldn't be surprised if it went for more than this, but probably around there, like maybe 8,500 and 9,000 is probably around where I'm guessing that book is going to go. But again, we will find out in about 6 days. Oh, and then we've got Mr. Mystery #12. I love that cover. It's super cool cover. I do have a copy of this book, and it is an impressive book in person. It really is. The detail and everything. That book is great. I do really like that one. We've got a More Fun #7. These are extremely rare. This is where you can see when people say like a bound book. This is one of the ways that those books are bound. It's like a spiral binding, like put on that book. Let's keep moving on here. I know a lot of people love this cover. I am not one of those people. So More Fun 54. I'm just not interested in watching it. A lot of early Spectre covers. It's interesting because these are done by Bernard Bailey. Same person who did this. Same person who did this. And I love Bernard Bailey's pre-code horror work. I think it's just, it reminds me of Gus Rica. Like, it feels like it's like Gus Rica, maybe like amped up a little bit. And where he does these like really close-ups and you get a lot of detail and like expression on people's faces. I just don't care for his earlier work and like the more fun stuff. It just feels really rudimentary to me. And I don't know. I know some people say like this is like, some people think this is the best cover ever made. And I don't know, just a guy in tights. It does not work for me. And so it's just not for me. I don't know if he did. I have to check if he did like this cover. It's not something I've ever been all that interested in. And so I just haven't really looked into him that much. But let's see. Yeah, Bernard Bailey cover too. And yeah, it's a very interesting transition because like Schomburg, I feel like other than like when he had his like kind of pulp stage, his style was very similar for a long time. Whereas Bailey's style, I feel like really evolved, where he went from like this type of stuff to this, but I don't know. Keep moving on here. All right, so we've got early adventure comics, New Adventure 20, 1937. I'll watch that. I'll watch this one too. 1938. Yeah, I'll watch those. Got a new comics #1. Super, super rare. That's definitely rare. There was one in that Christine Farrell collection. I will track that just because of how rare that book is. Obviously not like a cover I really I'm all that interested in, but just the rarity is pretty cool. Got a Pep Comics 27. One issue late. I'm always looking for Pep Comics 26, that first appearance of Veronica. I'll still watch that one. Pretty cool cover. And I always watch this one. This has got the kind of the syringe cover, the crazy Nazi monster guy. So I'll always watch that book. All right, moving on. Here we go. We do have 2 Phantom Lady 21s. Interesting that, you know, it skipped the Phantom Lady 21 earlier in the auction. We get 2 of them here. I would have thought you'd want to have at least one so that they're kind of all in order there. But got some Matt Baker's. Always watch the Matt Baker books. I am not a Lou Fine fan. I think I've said that a number of times, but there are some Planet Comics covers that he did that interest me, and this is one of them. I do like Planet Comics number 2, so I will watch that one. It's just something about the way that monster is drawn. It's just super weird and unique. I don't think he did this one though. I'm almost certain he didn't do 14. I don't think he was doing the covers at that point. But I do like this one as well. Let's see. Yeah, so this is I'm not going to pronounce that right. Dan Zolnerowicz cover from the oh man, Nicolas Cage. Wish I wouldn't have even shown this one. I don't want anybody bidding against me. I'm always trying to get a Nicolas Cage book. I always think that'd be so much fun to have a Nicolas Cage book. So yeah, I'll watch that one. Keep moving on here. This is always a fun, like the Girls in Tubes. Some people like to collect those types of covers. Planet Comics number 56. I'll track that one. And I really like this cover. I have owned a copy of this one before. You can see here that this is a Maurice Whitman cover that is a really unique style, like the coloring that he does. I just feel like he does an incredible job. And so I do really like the Maurice Whitman books. So I'll tend to watch those. And we've got a Reform Schoolgirl. This book almost always restored. I feel like this book is almost always restored. It is so hard to find that book in an unrestored state. But I always tend to watch that one. I'll keep moving on here. Some early Sensation comics, 7 Seas. For some reason, I don't care for 7 Seas 5. 7 Seas 4 and 6 are the books. I'll still watch it because they're all Bakers. But there is no 4 here. But 7 Seas 5, there's just something about I don't know. I think it's like the way he drew her face or something that just, I don't like that cover as much. But I really like the covers for 4 and 6. But I'll still watch them. Spirit 22. One of my favorite covers of all time. It is a Will Eisner cover. I love the simplicity of it. Really always catches my attention. I always watch that book when it comes up for sale. We've got L.B. Cole, Startling Terror Tales number 11. Used to be one of my favorite covers, but I kind of fallen out of love with it a little bit. But I still like to watch it. We've got an Alex Schomburg airbrush cover and a 7.5. Pretty cool grade for that one. Pretty nice grade. I'll watch the Alex Schomburg one. And let's keep moving on here. Superman number 1 centerfold. Interesting. We've got Superman number 1.5. I'll watch that one. Watch Superman 2. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see what's going on with this one. There's a lot of notes on that cover here. See what's missing. So all 3 edges trimmed and incomplete. Back cover is a color copy. Coupon cutout of centerfold does not affect story. So it's missing the back cover. So there's the back. Oh yeah, that's it's definitely a different appearance than that front cover. So, but yeah, missing the back cover. It's still pretty cool. I mean, Superman number 1. It's not going to go cheap. It's still probably going to be like, I don't know, 35, 40,000, somewhere in that range. All right, we'll keep moving on here. Got the classic Superman with the flag cover. I always like to watch that one. This is actually the first appearance of Kryptonite. Got if you're not aware, I just recognize the cover. That's how I know. But you can see here, Origin of Superman Retold, first Kryptonite, first time Superman returns to Krypton. But yeah, it's this cover. I always recognize that cover, and that's why I know that it's the first Kryptonite. It is going to go for a lot more than $90. It'll probably be, I don't know, 1,500, somewhere up in that range. 15 to 1,800 would be my guess. But we will see when it sells. Got Super Mystery, Taffy, Terrifying Tales. Nothing really these are usually early Peanuts. I wonder if this one is too. Let's see if it'll say in the, yeah, so Peanuts story. These books are often early appearances of Snoopy or Charlie Brown or that kind of thing. So they're always kind of fun if you have them raw and you're flipping through and you can see those. It's usually like 1 or 2 pages on the interior. It's pretty cool seeing that because it's just a slightly different art style at that time for the Peanuts books. Then we've got Tomb of Terror 15, another copy. I'll watch that. This is an L.B. Cole. I always like this one because it's an L.B. Cole, but it almost feels like a Baker. And so this True to Life Romance is number 11 always catches my attention. It's just got a different look and feel to it for me for what I normally see with L.B. Cole. And now we've got a bunch of Gaines file copies. We're just going to watch all of those. 9.6, 9.8, 9.4, 9.8. This isn't a Gaines file copy, but it is one of my favorite Johnny Craig covers, if not my favorite Johnny Craig cover. Vault of Horror number 35 and an 8.0, a really nice copy. That's cool. Vault 37 and a 9.6. This book is always wrecked. Always wrecked. Like I feel like every time I've had it maybe 3 times, and the spine has been just split every single time. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see that in a 9.6. All right, then we've got the Death Beauty pageant. That's always a fun one. We don't know who the cover artist is for these. These are these Farrell publications, which I think were done by what's called the Iger Shop artists. So you just don't know who did it. It's kind of like sent off, and one of many people that were working on that art at that time. The War Against Crime 8. I think this is the first horror cover, I think, for EC. War Against Crime 11. Yeah, first EC horror cover, second appearance of the Vault Keeper. So that's always cool to see. So I will track that one too. All right. Then we've got, this one is a, I can't remember. I'm forgetting the name. Wolverton. That's right. Basil Wolverton cover. This is a cool one. Basil Wolverton is interesting because when I've seen his interior art, I have not liked it. I've generally felt like I did not care for his interior art. And I know, again, some people absolutely love it. But this cover is super cool. Like his cover art is super interesting, super cool, but I haven't really cared for the interior art that I've seen quite as much. But yeah, I'll definitely watch that. A 5.5 is a nice grade for that. Super cool book. Then we've got a 5.5 Witch's Tales 25. Awesome cover. Looks like a Lee Elias cover, but it is not. And then another one of this is probably my second favorite Alex Schomburg airbrush cover, Wonder Comics number 15. It's like the first appearance of Tara, which is one of his characters. It's not the woman on the cover. I think she's on the interior because I think Tara has blonde hair. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me but yeah, origin first appearance of Tara. I think she's the one that has blonde hair that is later on, that appears like on covers later on. Got a 0.5 for Wonder Woman number 1. Now it's 0.5 and brittle, but that is a solid looking copy. Let's see what the back cover looks like. Yeah. What is going on? This is the type of stuff I really disagree with CGC on. Absolutely. If you sent this into CBCS, I bet you're going to get like a 1.5, maybe even like a 2. But CGC just seems to overly aggressively grade brittle, in my opinion. I mean, like, look at this thing. Like, yeah, okay, it's a brittle page copy, but it is complete. There's no like missing pieces. I mean, let's because if there was something missing, they would have put it on the label notes. Let's check this one out. Let's see what the grader's notes say. So spines of cover completely split and cover detached, all wrap split, brittleness. I mean, I know that they really hammer that, especially with the wraps being split. I bet this gets a 1 or 1.5 from CBCS. I bet it does. Yeah, I disagree with those getting 0.5s. Let's keep going on here. I just really like this cover. This is one of the world's finest covers that I like. I like kind of like the simplicity to it. So I'll watch that one. Keep moving on here. We've got an early Red Skull, or not early. Yeah, 1941. Early Red Skull cover. So watch that one there. And let's keep moving on. Let's see if anything else catches my attention. We've got another Gaines file copy. We've got, so here's Famous Funnies 214. This is one of this is my favorite cover from Frank Frazetta in this run. And so I love the Red Planet. It always catches my attention. This is another great Schomburg airbrush cover, Exciting Comics number 60. What's going on with there? Does this have like minor amount of glue or something like that? Yeah, very minor amount of color touch. And if you're not aware, like especially in the Golden Age, you see that not all the time, but sometimes, where if it's below a certain threshold, they allow color touch with blue labels. And if there's glue on the cover that's not doing anything, they also allow that with a blue label. And here's another Frazetta. I'm going to watch that. Now we're into some Silver Age. I don't know. Let's see if anything catches my attention here. Actually, jumping in and out. I thought we'd be in Silver Age fully now, but not. Looks like we've got some Golden Age again. Teenage Dope Slaves, this Harvey Comics Library #1. I own a copy of this one. I'm always going to watch this one. It's just an insane cover. It's an insane cover. I'll always watch it. We've got Horrific #3. This one is another one that always catches my attention. It's a Don Heck cover. It's where he actually just basically cut this head out of another cover and used it for this cover. It's he's just like, he must have been rushed for time and needed something quick. I'm going to watch these bound volumes too. I like tracking those bound volumes. Mask 2. I did not expect to see this kind of like laid on in this auction. That's surprising. Like I would have thought this would be much earlier. So Mask Comics #2, I will absolutely be watching that. And I love this cover here too. We've got Mr. Mystery #6. Another one of those covers, just insane. It's an insane cover. So yeah, I will watch that. Same with this one, Ranger Comics #14, just an insane cover from World War II. So I will absolutely be watching that book too. Let's see here. This is a Gaines file copy. Man, there's a bunch of Gaines file copies coming up for sale. Another great underwater Schomburg airbrush cover. I will watch that one. So neither of these are Gaines. So that's really what I'm looking for right now with the kind of like the EC books, unless it's a very specific book. This is a tough, I don't see this one in high grade too often, so I feel like I'll watch that. This is a Johnny Craig werewolf cover. It's not as good as the Jack Davis ones, but still a pretty cool cover. Not as good in my opinion. Other people might disagree. I know some people love this Frazetta cover. For me, it is not my favorite, but I will always watch it, especially in a higher grade like this, like a 7.5. All right, we've got Amazing Fantasy 15. I'm going to watch that one. Let's keep moving on here. 8.5. This is a book there's something about it always catches my attention, just because it always seems so tough to get in nice condition. It's because of that black bar on the left side. It always shows damage so much. But I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to watch this one, though. The ASM 14 and I know. First Screen Goblin. Got to watch that. Got a newsstand ASM 300. I will watch that. I like to see how those are shifting in price right now. I will definitely follow that sale. And then here's that Uniqlo book. Like, it goes for a ton of money. I think it was just a really low print run. But yeah, definitely goes for a lot of money. So I always, it's just one of those that just catches your attention a little bit. It's that kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, but whatever. Like kind of, I just something about that style on the cover always catches my attention. So I'm gonna watch that. I don't see 8.0 Avengers #1s too often, so I'll track that one. And 9/8 of these type of Batman, like first Ra's al Ghul's Batman 232, I'll always watch those as well. We've got a 9/8 of the first. It's called the first Silver Age appearance, even though it's in the Bronze Age, a Two-Face. 9/6. I'll watch that. Of 251. I love that cover. Some early Brave and the Bold. We've got first appearance of Justice League. Brave and the Bold 28 and a 7.0. That is a nice grade for that book. Got a Conan 1. This is one of those books that's done surprisingly well. So I will continue to watch it. And an 8.0 of the first Suicide Squad, Brave and Bold 25. That is a crazy high grade for that book. Another book that's like always a 2 or a 3. Those early Brave and the Bolds, just for some reason, they're extremely difficult to get in high grade. All right, let's keep moving on here. Got first Bullseye. I don't need to watch that one. I always like watching this just because I know it's the first Gorilla Grodd. Something about Gorilla Grodd. I always like tracking that book. Flash 106 and an 8.5. And we got a 9/8 off-white to white pages. Giant Says X-Men 1. I'll watch that. 9/8 Ghost Rider. And a 9/4 of Green Lantern 76. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. That I love the green, love the colors on this one. I actually don't know how much I like the signature label on it. I feel like I actually like the blue label more, which is weird because I feel like I would think the yellow would go well with it. I feel like it almost takes away from the green, makes the green not look as good. But let's keep going here. 2 Hulk ones. Oh, that's a price variant. So this is the UK price variant, the 5.0, and we've got a 5.5 of the cents, not variant, but the cents copy. This is going to go for a lot more. The cents copies just go for a lot more. We got the first appearance of John Stewart and a 9.8. I mean, the 9.8s of those, I'm going to watch them because they just don't come up for sale. And nothing here. 9.6 Iron Man 1. That's pretty incredible. So I'll watch that. One of the worst covers of all time, in my opinion. I know some people really disagree with me when I say that, but it's just such a boring cover. Just sitting around a table. Justice League #1. Not great. But an 8.0 is a tough grade. So I'll watch that one. Now let's move on. All right, we are still going here. Now we've got Marvel Spotlight 5 and a 9.6. I will watch that. That is a grade you don't see often. I feel like I'm gonna get past a lot of these a little quicker now. So we got a Swamp Thing 1 and a 9.8. I'll track that. And a CBC. I like to watch the CBCSs because I like to see if maybe you can snag a deal on them. You know, if you get one for a good price. So I'll watch that. Also, I never see this book in high grade. Tales to Astonish 44, first print of the Wasp. So I will. I do really like this in high grade, but this is the one that's catching my attention. So I'm going to watch that one. Got another first print of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, 8.5. Here we've got a second print signed by Kevin Eastman. Oh, I didn't know this was in here. Got another Ultimate Fallout 4 Djurjevic variant. We had one sell on Comic Link. It was like 8,500, I think, is what it went for. So we'll see what this one goes for here. Wolverine 1 newsstand signed by a bunch of people. I'll watch that. It's kind of interesting to see what that goes for. Here we've got an X-Men 1, 8.5. Here's where you can see that big difference between the different, I'll call it like color variations for X-Men #1. Here you've got the dark green corner box, and here you have the light green corner box. And for me, I like the dark green more. I don't know if everybody does, or if I'm, if what percentage of people do, but I just think it makes everything else stand out a little better. It makes all the other colors look better. It's just kind of like an illusion, but I really like that dark green corner box. So got a 9.8, first appearance of, first cover of Polaris, first second appearance of Polaris, but just awesome cover. And so I'm going to watch that one. I love that cover. 9.6. I'm going to pass on watching that. I always like watching X-Men 101 in a 9.8 because I feel like it never seems to drop. It keeps going for like $5,000 no matter what. And I don't know why that one has held up so well. I love the cover. I love this book, but it has held up surprisingly well versus a lot of other books. It's still fallen from the peak sales of the comic boom, but just not as much. I know we're into some pulps. This is the first appearance of Judge Dredd. If you're not familiar with this book and why this one goes for so much, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Let's check out in the little notes here. Yeah, first appearance of Judge Dredd, and they're these like newsprint type books from the UK. And it's like they had some crazy sales during the comic boom. They definitely fell back down. This is the first appearance of Buck Rogers. He is not on the cover, but also a very expensive pulp. Just like to track that one. Let's keep moving here. The pulps. I mean, I like this Marvel Science Stories. I'll watch that one. I think that's like the first time Marvel was used in a title. And we'll keep moving on here. The pulps, just like I said, they aren't so much for me, but I'll still watch the ones that are interesting. Now we are to the final day of original art. And I feel like I'm going to scroll through these pretty quick. But let's see. If anything catches my attention, I'll track it. But I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You never know what's going to catch your attention. I have bought some things on this final day of original art before. So there are sometimes items that really do, as I'm scrolling through, really do catch my attention, and I end up wanting to watch those. Nothing yet so far, though. But let's see. We'll keep We'll keep scrolling and we'll see if there's anything else that's in here that I feel like tracking for this auction, because feel like I've got quite a few items tracked so far. I mean, I'm not going to be bidding on hardly any of these, but I do like to go and see what they sell for afterwards if I'm not able to actually watch the auction. So that's one of the tough parts with this type of auction from Heritage, is that the first 2 days are on weekdays, and they're in like the middle of the day, and so I can't watch them, and so that's what always makes things a little tricky for me with those. I don't get to see them, and so that's why I like to track them here, so that then I have something that's quick and easy for me to go back to and see what the items actually sold for after the fact. All right, so we're moving through through this original art, definitely a little quicker. Haven't really had anything that's really grabbed my attention yet, but you never know, and that's why you got to check everything, because you never know. There could be something that's just like really interesting or really cool that's right near the end. I mean, like, this is pretty cool. We've got an unpublished cover from Johnny Craig from Crime Suspense Stories. I feel like that's something that's worth tracking. We've got Johnny Craig Tales of Terror EC Companion Cover Preliminaries. That's pretty cool too. And then we have some Reed Crandall story page 1. That one's not grabbing my attention nearly as much. But we'll keep moving on here. See if there's anything else, because that's why you got to check everything. You never know what's really going to be the thing that catches your eye, especially when you're talking about stuff like original art. That really is, I think it's just a person to person. Some people are going to love something and other people aren't going to care about it at all. Got some Kevin Eastman original art, relatively early, 1989. I'll watch that one. Let's see, what's this from issue 96. Yeah, nothing else so far that I feel like watching here. But again, let me know in the comments. We got some Frank Frazetta stuff. Let me know in the comments again, anything that you've seen on here so far that you're thinking of bidding on, or maybe you don't want to tell people because you don't want people to know that you're interested in that. It's kind of a cool one. I'll watch that. I don't know. It's looks like kind of a fun cover from Domino Hot Shots #1 in 2019. So original art and prints group of 5. All right, keep moving on here. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool Venom cover. I'll watch that one. All right, we keep moving on. All right. Yeah, and that's what I said. You never know. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I want to watch that one. We've got some Adam Hughes original art. So we've got Star Wars. I don't really care for that one. We've got Wonder Woman. It's just it's not looks like this isn't from anything. It's just one that he did. It's pretty cool. We've got a Tomb Raider #2. I'll watch that one. Yeah, it's just like Adam Hughes stuff. Like certain artists, that's one of the things I'll also be looking for. There's certain artists that I like, and Adam Hughes is one of those artists. So I'll always keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. All right, we've got Joe Jusko, or Jusko. I don't know if I'm ever pronouncing that right. Jusko art. He did a lot of the Marvel cards, and so that's where you see his name pop up with those Marvel cards, because those have been getting a lot of attention lately, like the original art for those. Let's see if there's anything else here. Is that kind of cool? It's Jack Kirby. What's that from? Chamber of Darkness #4. 1970. I'll just watch that. That's kind of cool. Like a Jack Kirby, like it's a larger splash. That's what I kind of like about that. It's not like a bunch of smaller images. I mean, Tales to Astonish 71 is probably gonna go for a lot of money. Hulk from 1965, Jack Kirby and Mike Esposito. All right, let's see. A lot of Jack Kirby pages in here later on. Wouldn't be surprised if some people get, kind of some interest in those. Tyler Kirkham. All right, now moving on to 7. So we are getting near the end. We're getting near the end here. Let's see if there's anything else that really just kind of jumps out that I might be interested in. Greg Land, he has some cool stuff. Birds of Prey 72. I'll watch that one. All right. Let's see if we can find anything else. Like these types of panels are pretty cool. Jay Lee has a cool style. He really does. It's like a lot of like everything. It's like you really end up getting these simple images where there's almost like nothing in the background. This isn't really something for like, I'm not really into this one, but if there was there could be a Jay Lee cover or something that might interest me at some point. Jim Lee, Batman 66. That's kind of fun. Rob Liefeld. I just got to watch this one. Let's see what that goes for. It's like over the top muscles of Rob Liefeld characters from 1994. All right. That's pretty cool. Okay, like I said, we're getting near the end here. So if there's anything else I want to track. I don't even know how many items I've got. Mike Mignola, I always like his stuff. He's another one of those artists that just for whatever reason, like his style catches my eye. I usually prefer the Hellboy stuff. So when I see his work and it's Hellboy, but that I've tried bidding on them a couple times and they have been, here's a Hellboy one. They're so expensive. This looks like it's like Hellboy as it's like a kid on the top and then, or like I don't know, child, I guess at the top and then as an adult on the bottom. Like I'll watch this one. I generally I prefer something that's like a singular larger image, but they go for so much. That's a cool one too. There's just something about his style I really, really like. I don't know why, but yeah. And we got some Frank Miller. I don't know. Frank Miller's stuff lately has been interesting. Got another Peach Momoko cover. I'll track that one. I'd say I like her style too. So let's see here. Getting near the end. My voice is getting near the end too. Been talking for a long time in this video. And I have no idea if you're going to stay around till the end. People are going to maybe watch it over a period of days to get through this whole thing. The prospect of editing this video is also not I'm not super excited about either, because I also have to edit that video and listen to the 90 minutes I've been talking on here before I can put this video out there. But yeah, we're getting close to the end. Eric Powell, he did the Goon books, I'm pretty sure. I think that's Eric Powell's the artist for those. So that's usually what I'm looking for with his name, but he also has kind of a recognizable style. All right. Got to be getting close to the end. Here. John Romita. Well, John Romita Jr., though, not senior. Bunch of John Romita work. This one's pretty cool. I like that one. Amazing Spider-Man number 20, 2023. That's a cool cover. Or I don't know if it's a cover, is it? Yeah, cover original art. Tales from the Crypt. Looks like a recreation. Yeah, homage. Yeah. All right. If there's anything else I'm going to want to watch, that's pretty cool too. What is that? Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier 2 splash page from 2015. That is cool. I'll watch that one just because that's just so awesome. Like that just looks awesome. So yeah, that's the type of stuff. Like I see that. That's gonna, and sitting at $105 right now. I have no idea what that's gonna go for. I'm sure a lot more than $105, but that's one that's worthwhile for me to just keep an eye on. All right, we are down to the final page. Final page. Let's see if there's anything else here. I don't know how many pages. We got some Charles Schultz Peanuts stuff. Got a Joe Shuster Action Comics 1 recreation. Bill Sienkiewicz. I've got to keep an eye out always for those because, like I said, I really like some of his work. Like here from 1984. That's cool. That's pretty cool too. I like that one. Not that one so much. That's pretty cool. I'll track that. I don't know what's going. That's kind of crazy. Is that Batman? Yeah, Batman on a horse. I'll watch that too. All right. Oh man, Darkhawk. I just got to track this one just for Swagglehouse Comics. Got to see what the cover for Darkhawk number 47 goes for. I bet he's watching this one. He's got to be. He's got to be tracking that. You don't get that Darkhawk original art coming up for sale all that often. Got some Jim Starlin. That is cool. All right, that's cool. Thanos illustration. It looks like it's not from like anything specific. Like it's like a recreation or some type of commissioned art. That's super cool. Let's see what else we got. Ryan Stegman Deadpool. That looks pretty awesome. I don't like that one as much. I feel like this, like it might look better if it was like in color. That one feel like doesn't look great in black and white, but that looks really cool in black and white. So does that. That is awesome. That is an awesome depiction of Vader. That would be really cool. If it stays at $155, that'll be mine. I'll definitely bet on that. All right, we got Dave Stevens. How often do you get Dave Stevens original art? I wonder. It can't be. I feel like I don't see that very often. All right. I mean, there's been some pretty cool stuff. We've got Bruce Timm original art at the end. I know a lot of people have been trying to go for some Bruce Timm original art lately. Witching Hour unpublished cover original art. There's some, like, I feel like I was kind of like, there wasn't a lot I was really interested in until this very end here. There's been some pretty cool items coming in at the back end of this original art session. Let's see if there's going to be anything else. Nothing yet. Wally Wood. That's another one I'm always looking out for. I have bid on some Wally Wood stuff before, but unfortunately unable to take any of it home. He's got a wide range though. He's definitely has some stuff that is some very not safe for work adult type stuff, and then some cool sci-fi stuff and some a good variety. Bernie Wrightson is another one. That's a pretty cool page. Batman Aliens #1. I gotta watch that. That's ridiculous. Batman versus Aliens seems pretty cool. So let's see if there's any other. Not a lot of Bernie Wrightson in here. Master of the Macabre. Yeah, not really for me. All right. Feel like we're getting near the end here. Neil Adams. Some more Neil Adams. Another Adam Hughes. Red Sonja. I'll watch that one. Greg Land. I always like Greg Land. I like his stuff too. Wally Wood Frontline Combat. No, not so much. All right. We have done it. We have reached the end. Congratulations if you stuck through this entire video with me, because it's been a long one. Let's just check out how many tracked lots there are, because this number probably sometimes it takes a little bit to update. It might be more than 256. So a lot of items that I am tracking in this upcoming Heritage auction. Some really cool stuff, some big books, some cool original art, some more affordable books, all kind, pretty decent variety. But again, let me know in the comments, did you stick through to the end? Did you stay for the entire video, the entire hour and 30 minutes or whatever this is going to be after I edit it? If you did, congratulations. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this auction. Hopefully you are too. And I will see you on the next one.